We are not doctors. Nothing in this podcast should be taken as medical advice. Consult your physician before starting any workout routine. This is the Martial Heart Podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Hello again. Recording some stuff right now in the early afternoon. Anyway, I got home early from work, mostly because I still feel like shit. Like, if you're going to think you feel like shit, you sort of, runny dog shit would be a little too graphic, I'm sure. So, cover your kids' ears when you're listening to my podcast, because I tend to just talk like I would to a friend of mine sitting at the dinner table. And so the doctor's office called back today. I always say the doctor's office called because the doctor didn't call. Doctors don't talk to you. And they are calling in a prescription for a different kind of blood pressure regulating medication, which will make everyone happy because I'll stop bitching and moaning about my blood pressure being up so high. And the cardiac therapy people will stop asking me why my blood pressure is so high and why did the doctor take you off of this beta blocker that was controlling your blood pressure, and everybody thinking that it was really stupid. So maybe that'll stop, and maybe I'll feel better, and I won't have to explain that the doctor took me off of the medicine. I didn't just stop taking it. And maybe things will get back to a little bit more, normal as it can be, a month and a half post heart attack. And maybe I'll feel better. And I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to feeling better. So, in order to occupy my brain and talk about something other than me not feeling good, because I'm a big baby, new stuff has arrived, and I'm experimenting with some new stuff. And this one was unexpected because I ordered something and got a good deal on it, and the person was delayed in sending it to me. It's like they forgot that someone bought this thing. And so I sent them a message. I'm like, hey, what's up? You going to ship that thing or what? And they didn't respond to me for 3 days went by and nothing from them. So we're already talking, we're over a week from the time that I ordered this thing or paid for it. And, eBay sends me this email notice, says, hey, give us some feedback on your last transaction. So I did. And I said, hey, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if the thing is even ever going to be shipped because it still hasn't shipped. Nobody's printed a label, and the person who sold it to me isn't even answering an email, blah, blah, blah. And so the next day, there was an email that said, sorry, got behind, blah, blah, really apologize. It'll be there Friday, it's going out today. And I'm like, okay, well, that's fine. I can understand that, because if somebody had bought something from me on eBay a few weeks ago, they may not have it still because I may not feel like sending it out. But anyhow, so they did send it, but they didn't send it. They sent something else. And so there's basically two versions of this thing. And they sent the more expensive version of it. So, of course, being an ethical person, I emailed them back and I said, hey, don't know if you're aware of this, but you didn't send the one that I paid for. You sent the next level up, the more advanced version with the more features that cost more. And I said, it doesn't matter to me. There are features that I don't intend to use in the first place. So, it doesn't matter. I can still use it. And but I needed to let you know so you can figure out if you want to send the other one and me send this one back, or at least just adjust your inventory. And so they emailed back and said, no, it really doesn't matter. Enjoy it. Thanks for the business. So I guess they felt bad because I left them the bad review. I don't know. You would think if you leave somebody some bad feedback like that, they would not go out of their way to make you happy. But uh, anyhow, so it arrived, and I'm speaking through it right now. Now, and you're going to hear more about my audio travails because here's what's happening. I'm doing a podcast, but it seems more like I'm running an eBay store or an eBay business because I'm, doing the moving and shaking stuff over there on eBay. I'm buying and selling stuff on eBay and trying things and then reselling them and taking some old stuff and selling it and using that money to buy new stuff. And I just keep moving things around. So it's more like instead of a podcast, this is an eBay system that I'm working on right now. But it's the Behringer UMC 204HD USB audio interface. It's professional level quality stuff. There's no noise floor on this thing. I can't detect one. Yes, I'm half deaf, but if you just let this thing run, turned all the way up, there's no hiss, there's no hum, there's nothing. The sound coming out of it is beautiful. And it's a very impressive thing. And it costs about a third of what the next competitor costs. And it has a better sound. So anyway, it's a big thing. It's from Behringer. I already trusted the Behringer brand because I already had one of their smaller units that I used years ago. And that one still works fine too, but I'm going to turn around and sell it on eBay because I don't need it anymore. So, hey, there's more of my eBay store instead of my podcast. But yeah, there's some stuff I have to get rid of now because I don't need it. I've since expanded and gotten more stuff that's more appropriate for what I'm doing. So I have a couple of microphones that I'm also going to be offloading because I don't need condenser microphones. Those just aren't appropriate for doing a podcast and doing voice recording in your house and things like that. So and those are high quality things too. I bought those back when I was going to do the audiobook thing, but now I realize that I can do audiobook narration with this, and it'll be just fine. I'll have to still work on taking some of the bass out of my voice, so I'm not the Lucifer in the background. But I tried that. I have an equalizer thing. I took some of it out now, speaking through this studio system. But anyway, this microphone, the Rode Pod mic, and there's other microphones too. The SM7B, which is like the most popular podcasting microphone. It's also like the most expensive podcasting microphone. The stupid thing's like $500 or something like that, and they used to be more. But microphones like that, they take everything out of it that can give you gain or amplification, and they do that for a reason. But you need a lot of gain to bring those things up to a level that you can record on and be acceptable, audio levels and all that. So there's different types of preamps that you can put on them before they go into your audio interface. And so I found one on sale, and for like dirt cheap. I don't know if they were running some sort of a promo thing, or they made a mistake. I don't care. I got it for the good price. And so I put that on there. So I now have the pod mic going into the preamp, going into the audio interface. And what that does is it allows me to not have to turn the gain up to 11. And because that's what you have to do on these things. If you're not going to use a preamp, you've got to crank the gain up almost as high as it'll go before you have like a good level that you can hear and record. And a lot of people just don't turn it up that high, and they amplify it in post-production and stuff. And that's fine. You can do that. But now you have to deal with your amplifying also your ambient noise and, your sound floor and all that. Everything, if you do it wrong, you're amplifying all of that too. And so then you have multiple processes that you have to run. You have to, do a noise reduction and a noise gate. And then you have to do all that before you amplify, and then you add gain and blah, 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 compressors and limiters and bleh. I don't know, people talk about this like they actually understand it. Somebody might, but I learned all the cool words, so that's all you need to know is that I sound like I know what I'm talking about. So it's working much better now, and it actually is a really good setup. and it makes me happy. So in these days when I am just feeling like shit and I'm down in the dumps and I get depressed about it, then playing with this audio stuff makes me happy. Making adjustments and doing test recordings. You don't understand what I do here because you see this 15-minute podcast or hear this 15-minute podcast, whichever, platform you're enjoying this or not on. So I, on average, do about 10 to 12 test recordings. And that's not me doing a podcast. It's me looking into the camera, talking into the microphone, going, how's this sound level? I adjusted this to this number and I put this here in this position and blah, blah, blah. And now I need to know what the sound level is. And then I stop the recording and then I go back and I play it and I listen to it. And then I put it into Audacity for the audio file into Audacity and I analyze it and figure out what am I going to have to do post-production wise to make this great. And I keep doing that because I want to limit that post-production process. I just want to have it as clean and clear going in as possible so that I don't have to do much to it. And so every time I touch this equipment or move things around or decide I'm going to try this microphone with this interface, or I want to try, this studio thing or this post-production thing, I want to do this. Every time I change something, now I have to put it all back together and I have to go test it and I have to do these test recordings so that I know that it's back where it should be when I'm doing the actual podcast. And I don't know why I enjoy it. It's fun, but it's quite a process. So I've been sitting in front of this microphone and this camera for, for a while. And I didn't just sit down and say, hey, let's do a podcast. I moved equipment and changed settings and did things and did several tests and decided which one I enjoyed and put the pop filter back on the stupid microphone because I keep getting too close to it and popping. I'm not good with the microphone control yet, so I have to cheat as much as possible. So I needed to put this on, but I have a surprise. So hold on. I have to make some changes. I found this, and this made me happy. This microphone. This is an old microphone. It's an old interview microphone, and it was on eBay, and it's fun. Look at it. It makes you feel like you're on Let's Make a Deal or something, and you're like, is this your family with you in the audience? Where are you from? Is that not the coolest thing ever? And it's made out of solid metal, so it can be banged up. I don't even know how old it is. It's got some marks on it, like somebody's been using it. But, maybe a newscaster or something, or someone on scene. I don't know, but you can, it's more of a directional microphone where you have to aim it at someone's mouth to get the best sound quality. So, but I needed something that was durable, was solid, something that was least likely to get damaged if I have it in a box and I'm taking it out into the field and I'm going to do podcasts out there in the wild like I sometimes do, like I want to do. And if I'm going to go just, randomly run into somebody and say, hey, let me interview you. I may ask you some questions about your condition or how you dealt with it. Then I want to be able to pull this thing out and, not have to worry about it if I drop it because it's very solid construction. So I got that, and it's fun because now I can feel like Bob Barker. Everybody's going to think that's cool. I don't care. You may not think it's cool, but what do you know? You're just sitting there listening to someone else talk, and I don't consider you to be an expert. I'm not an expert either, but Bob Barker was an expert, and he liked a microphone like this. So do I. Yeah. All right. I'm going to hit some outro music. Obviously, I'm losing my mind. I need those new meds, and they're not ready yet to go pick up. So, I don't know. I could be having a stroke. We can blame it on that. So, outro music, and I'll record something else later, a little less goofy, I think, but I think I'm going to need to eat something else and get some meds.